Sakale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine
we will do just new introduction to the newcomers. Yes, brother.
Thank you everyone for coming today. We have the opportunity to have Maharaj with us. I will give a short introduction of the Maharaj. That's not fair on my part because I'm not worthy to glorify Maharaj, but I'll try to give some introduction. His Holiness Bhakti Anugrah Janardana Swami was born in the Philippines. He joined the Krishna consciousness movement in 1984 in Toronto, Canada. After Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. We'd like to read from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. So there are two chapters here in the Bhagavad Gita explaining about Karma Yoga. The other one is in chapter 3, just Karma Yoga. But this chapter 5 says Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. So we'll read one of the slokas here. Let's see. Text number 7. Chapter 5, text 7. This is better than wireless.
Yeah.
Wireless, I have to exert more energy here. Even a bit is good.
It's much better. Yeah.
This is the same system we used last night?
Yes.
Yeah. And this morning also? No.
It's the same system. Yeah. The same.
It's the same.
Yeah, with the wire. Yeah.
Okay, we chant. If you have smartphone with you, read Bhagavad Gita. Yoga-yukto viśuddhātmā, vijitātmā jitendriyaḥ, sarva-bhūtātma-bhūtātmā, kurvann api na lipyate, yoga-yukto viśuddhātmā, vijitātmā jitendriyaḥ, sarva-bhūtātma-bhūtātmā, kurvann api na lipyate. Somebody else?
Yoga-yukto viśuddhātmā,
Yoga-yukto viśuddhātmā,
vijitātmā jitendriyaḥ, sarva-bhūtātma-bhūtātmā, kurvann api na lipyate.
Yoga-yukto viśuddhātmā, vijitātmā jitendriyaḥ, sarva-bhūtātma-bhūtātmā, kurvann api na lipyate.
Yoga-yukto viśuddhātmā, vijitātmā jitendriyaḥ, viśuddhātmā-bhūtātmā, kurvann api na lipyate. Yoga-yukto viśuddhātmā, vijitātmā jitendriyaḥ, sarva-bhūtātma-bhūtātmā, kurvann na lipyate,
Mataji's. Yo.
yoga-yukto viśuddhātmā vijitātmā jitendriyaḥ sarva-bhūtātma-bhūtātmā kurvann api na lipyate yoga-yukto viśuddhātmā vijitātmā jitendriyaḥ sarva-bhūtātma-bhūtātmā kurvann api na lipyate yoga-yukto viśuddhātmā vijitātmā jitendriyaḥ sarva-bhūtātma-bhūtātmā kurvann api na lipyate.
Word for word meaning yoga-yukta. Engaged in devotional service. Viśuddhātmā. A purified soul. Vijitātmā. Self-control. Jitendriyaḥ. Having conquered the senses. Sarva-bhūtātmā. To all living entities. Atma-bhūtātmā. Compassionate. Kurvann api. Although engaged in work. No. Never. Lipyate is entangled. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. Everybody please repeat. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. Purport. One who is in the path of liberation by Krishna consciousness is very dear to every living being, and every living being is dear to him. This is due to his Krishna consciousness. Such a person cannot think of any living being as separate from Krishna, just as the leaves and branches of a tree are not separate from the tree. He knows very well that by pouring water on the root of the tree, the water will be distributed to all the leaves and branches, or by supplying food to the stomach, the energy is automatically distributed throughout the body. Because, is that correct?
Yes.
Where is this now? Because one who works in Krishna consciousness is servant to all, he is very dear to everyone. And because everyone is satisfied by his work, he is pure in consciousness. Because he is pure in consciousness, his mind is completely controlled. And because his mind is controlled, his senses are also controlled. Because his mind is always fixed on Krishna, there is no chance of his being deviated from Krishna. Nor is there a chance that he will engage in his senses in matters other than the service of the Lord. He does not like to hear anything except topics relating to Krishna. He does not like to eat anything which is not offered to Krishna. And he does not wish to go anywhere if Krishna is not involved. Therefore, his senses are controlled. A man of controlled senses cannot be offensive to anyone. One may ask, why then was Arjuna offensive in battle to others? Wasn't he in Krishna consciousness? Arjuna was only superficially offensive because, as has already been explained in the second chapter, all the assembled persons on the battlefield would continue to live individually, as the soul cannot be slain. So, spiritually, no one was killed in the battle of Kurukshetra. Only their dresses were changed by the order of Krishna, who was personally present. Therefore, Arjuna, while fighting in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, was not really fighting at all. He was simply carrying out the orders of Krishna in full Krishna consciousness. Such a person is never entangled in the reactions of war. Yoga-yukto viśuddhātmā, vijitātmā, jitendriyaḥ, sarva-bhūtātma-bhūtātmā, kurvann lipyate. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. A devotee of the Lord, he always performs his activities in such a way to please the Supreme Lord or the spiritual master. This is the original state of everyone. It's like we gave again the example of the rain cloud having come in contact with the earth. It becomes muddied. But still, it looks like the rainwater becomes dirty. But still, the rainwater and the mud is separate. They're both separate entity. They may be looking like they become one. So similarly, the living entities coming have in contact with the material energy seems to become part of the material energy. What we say, become part of the material energy. Becomes under the jurisdiction, yet becomes under the jurisdiction of the modes of material nature. But again, the soul is always pure. It is the consciousness which is covered up. We were talking about that 2 nights ago in Atlanta temple. Consciousness is the symptom of the soul. So a person who is always acting under the modes of material nature is covered up. But the soul is always pure, is always there. Prabhupada gave an example that the soul is the passenger in the chariot. The chariot is the body, and the driver is the mind. The intelligence is the rein. Yes? Mind is the rein. The intelligence is the driver. And the senses are the senses. So, a person who's driving, the intelligence must be sharp. And the passenger either enjoying the ride or in fear of the ride. If the senses are fully under control, then the mind is said to be also fully under control, because the mind is the higher compared to the senses, and higher than the mind is the intelligence. So we have to purify the intelligence by reading from the Shastra. So every living being is pure in its original state, but became covered up because of, again, identifying with the body as the self. But it says here, one who is on the path of liberation by Krishna consciousness is very dear to every living being, and every living being is dear to him. It's like Prabhupada was once asked, how come everybody loves you? And Prabhupada says, because I love everyone. This is Krishna conscious devotee. He doesn't have any enemy. Others may become enemy of his, but he does not have any enemy himself because he loves everyone. So, this is Krishna consciousness. This is due to his Krishna consciousness. He does not have an enemy. He does not envy anyone. Others may be envious of him because of his being Krishna conscious. But for himself, he does not have any enmity. He doesn't have any enmity towards anyone. So here, Prabhupada said, such a person cannot think of any living being as separate from Krishna, which means he sees everyone in equal vision. There's that verse, Vinaya Sampane Brahmani Gavi Astini Suni Cheva Sapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. He sees everyone in equal vision. Dog, a dog eater, an elephant, a brahmana. And he is a real pandit. He's a real learned person. So he never sees everyone as separate from Krishna. And as Prabhupada gave again the example, just like the leaves and branches of a tree are not separate from the tree. Yes. And if you water the root of the tree, then everything is being nourished. So if you serve Krishna, we don't also have any due debts to everyone, including the sages, the demigods, our forefathers. If you're not a devotee, you have to separately repay them back. Yeah? It's like the demigods, they provide the sun, Surya Dev, or the air that we breathe. And Prabhupada says also all of these different organs that we have in the body, that we have, different demigods also controls them. Even the blinking of our eye. The gopis, they blame Lord Brahma because they don't want to miss Krishna even for a few seconds or even fraction of a second. So they blame Lord Brahma for having these eyelids too close. even for a few seconds, even for a fraction of a second. This is what kind of creator you are. They have so much love for Krishna, they don't want to miss Krishna even for a fraction of a second. So if we serve the Supreme Lord, then we don't have any more debts to repay back our ancestors or the demigods or the sages. Why? Why we have to repay back the sages? Without them, there is no Bhagavad Gita. There is no other different literatures that pertains to the Lord's name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes. Without them, we'll be puzzled. We will not know what to do and what to do. So we pour the water onto the root of the tree, and therefore everything else that is part of the tree, they also get nourished. The leaves and the branches, or by supplying food to the stomach, the energy is automatically distributed throughout the body. So this is our main goal, how we can work in such a way that we are always thinking that we are servants. We discussed this morning about this dashyam. Dashyam means being servant of the Supreme Lord. That is the preliminary stage whereby when we become mature in our bhakti, then we will know our eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord. So for now, we always have to keep reminding ourselves that our position is that we are all servants. The materialists, they always think they are the master, or they want to be a master, the supreme. Cannot be. It's not possible. Even the President of the United States of America, he is a servant of all the Americans. How about Modi, who doesn't have so much seat in the government? He was defeated by that way, in that way. He may be the president, but he doesn't have so many support, isn't it? But he's serving what? Over 1 billion people. That is the work. That is his job. See how Kali Yuga is. He wants the best for his country, and the opponents doesn't want to support him due to politics, due to ego. He wants to serve every Indian citizen to the highest degree. He wants to promote Dharma to the highest degree. But there are many parties in India, right? In America, how many parties? Liberal, Democrats, Congress. Is that there's Congress?
Republicans and Democrats.
Republican. Only two, practically, right? 3?
The Libertarian Party.
Yeah, but in India, there are many parties.
Every state has like.
They cannot agree that, okay, let's just all serve Krishna. Why not? Why not one party, one flag? Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita, right? One book, one God, one mantra. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one book, Bhagavad Gita, one God, Krishna. So many isms. And therefore, even the one who would like to serve the country to the best of his ability, still they are opposing. How about us? when we serve Krishna, there are many obstacles as well, isn't it? Our health, sometimes we have doubts about the philosophy, or we interpret. We have our own idea. That's why Prabhupada, he named the book that he translated and commented Bhagavad Gita as it is. So there'll be no doubts. There'll be no ism, as it is. Krishna as it is, not Krishna as I think of who he is. So everyone says here, and because everyone is satisfied by his work, he is pure in consciousness. This is a devotee. He's satisfied by his work because he is Krishna conscious. He may be working out there just like anybody else, but he's satisfied. Of course, he would like to have a better job so that he can give more to Krishna. But whatever he has, whatever he is being engaged with, he is satisfied because he knows that everything belongs to Krishna. He's pure in his consciousness. And because he's pure in consciousness, his mind is completely pure. So is again the hierarchy. He knows he's a servant of Lord Krishna, and therefore he works only for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. And because he works only for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, then his consciousness is pure. And because his consciousness is pure, then his mind also is completely controlled. Most difficult to control is the mind. If the mind is not thinking of Krishna, then one is disturbed, one is unhappy. It says in the Bhagavad Gita, when the mind becomes fully under control, then one becomes happy. And when one's mind is fully under control, then the super soul is already rich. He'll be able to hear the dictations of the super soul who is within our heart, Paramatma. He'll be able to know again what to do. He'll give everything to Lord Krishna to be in control of his life. So how many in this world, planet Earth, who let Krishna be the controller of his life? No, we want to be the controller. We want to eliminate Krishna. We want to be Krishna. This is the mentality. That's why we need guidance. We need guidance from Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra, because they are the external representative of the Supreme Lord. We may have a good idea, but if it is not approved by higher authorities, then it's okay, but it may not last. We want something that is everlasting. As long as this material body is here, everything is temporary. But we want our activities to be having eternal credit to our spiritual bank account. It's like people, they are confident that if they put their money, let's say HSBC or ICICI or Bank of Punjab or Baroda, Bank of Baroda, but not guaranteed. I remember we were in Russia, 1998. There was a big crash that time, economic crash. Guru Maharaj, we celebrated his Vyasa Puja in Moscow that year. So Guru Maharaj, whatever dakshina he collects for Vyasa Puja, he gives to Krishna's cause, for Krishna's service. Whenever he will give initiation, wherever he is, he will give to the temple where the initiation took place. Correct? Yes. If it happened in Atlanta, Vedasar Prabhu will be very happy.
We used to give.
Huh?
We used to give.
Yeah. So it happened in Moscow. So Lakshmi was collected, and he told me, change this to US dollars. And I did not do it. What happened the next day? The whole economy collapsed. People, even devotees who have money in the bank, they cannot take them away. They cannot withdraw. So whatever money we have, practically is like less than half of the value. The whole world collapsed that time, I remember, 1998. Remember that year? Huh? Like around August. I remember because the Lakshmi is with me. And he knew, as if he knew what's going to happen. So there's no guarantee, even if you put your money in the bank. What is guaranteed is what when we serve the Supreme Lord, we may not see the result immediately. But definitely there is a change going on within our heart. There is a purification going on in our heart. We may not see immediately, just like Prabhupada gave an example. Like husband and wife, they get married, but don't expect. The wife should not expect that the next day will be a baby. You have to wait for 10 months, 9 months, 10 months. So if the wife is fertile and the husband is potent, then the baby will be there. So similarly, when we perform bhakti, try to perform bhakti, we may not see immediately the result, but according to Nectar of Devotion, when one performs bhakti, then miseries, one becomes relieved from all distress. Automatically, one becomes happy, the heart becomes purified. We'll be able to understand who we are, we're able to understand who is Krishna, and we are able to understand our relationship. When Srila Prabhupada says, chant Hare Krishna and your life will be sublime, what does that mean? Chant the holy name and your life will be sublime. I read the other day, sublime means you'll be able to understand who you are. You'll be able to understand who is Krishna. You'll be able to understand your relationship with Lord Krishna. Then your life will be perfect. Right now, we cannot even understand who we are. But as soon as we start chanting Hare Krishna, as soon as we perform any of these 9 processes of devotional service, ultimately we'll be able to uncover our real self. But it has to be starting like is a very systematic way. Control the senses. How to control the senses? Control the mind first. How to control the mind? intelligence must be sharp. How to sharpen the intelligence? Read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Always remember that we are not this body, we're spirit souls. And Prabhupada says, understanding that you are a spirit soul is not enough. You have to understand also that you are a servant of Lord Krishna. So there is like chronological order or systematic way how to do it. And then Prabhupada says here, he does not engage his senses in matters other than the service of the Lord. There you go. Prabhupada giving us the clue here. He does not like to hear anything except topics relating to Krishna. What's that mean? We don't have to hear what's going on in Russia or in India. We have to hear what's going on also, but then apply Krishna consciousness accordingly. When Prabhupada would give class, he will give examples of what's going on. Guru Maharaj also, he will what do you call this? Just see what is the headline in Hindustan Times or Times of India. He will see. But others, they will spend hours reading the newspapers. But Guru Maharaj, I know. He will always borrow the newspapers from Ganapati Prabhu. You know who's Ganapati Prabhu? Maharaj's disciples in Vrindavan, the guest house in charge. So he will skim and see what's going on. We have to be also practical. Not just because we are trying to become devotee, then we become oblivious to what's going on around us. So yes, but we should not spend too much time, in the news or nothing that has no relationship with Krishna. That's what Prabhupada says here. He does not like to hear anything except topics relating to Krishna. He does not like to eat anything which is not offered to Krishna. There are many vegetarian restaurants now, isn't it? Daba. You go to Edison. Everyone. Is there a Little India here in Atlanta? Or everywhere there is a lot of every nook and corner where you go. There's some groceries there, Patel Brothers everywhere.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, in Edison, this is in New Jersey, Oak Tree Road. You know the Oak Tree Road? The whole long strip. Here, wherever you go, Indian groceries, Indian restaurants. Yeah?
Yeah.
So sometimes devotees go there. No. Don't go eat outside. Why? Your food is not good enough at home? No. Oh yeah, they have nice samosa there or nice gulab jamun. No. Prabhupada in Vrindavan says, yes, you can buy sweetmeats offered to Krishna. Because it's made of milk products. There's no karma, but as soon as there are grains in there, then karma is being transferred by the one who cooked to those grains. So it says here, he does not eat anything which is not offered to Krishna, because this will cloudy up our consciousness. Our consciousness is already cloudy. He does not wish to go anywhere if Krishna is not involved. Or how about our Sankirtan devotees? They go to many places where so much rampant of sinful activities going on, but they go there for a specific purpose. But sometimes I remember gurus will go to, or some of our leaders will go. Oh, remember, we went to Disneyland one time in Florida to see what's going on because he used those technology in Glory of India project. Because when you go there, you'll see, oh yeah, this can be adapted to our Glory of India project. We didn't go there to go for the rides in the roller coaster or see Mickey Mouse. No, we didn't go there for that one. I remember. Even Sridhar Swami went there. You know, some of our leaders, we go to these places. Or even Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he went to the liquor shop. Not to buy whiskey, Scottish whiskey or something. He went there to preach. So we must be careful not to go in places where Krishna has nothing to do with Lord Krishna. Sometimes we'll go to bazaar. Yeah, we need something for our service for Krishna. Yeah. He does not like to eat anything which is not offered to Krishna. Therefore, his senses are controlled. This is the meaning of controlling the senses. And if a man, his senses are uncontrolled, he becomes offensive. He becomes offensive. This is number one we have to avoid. So Arjuna was not offensive when he was told by Lord Krishna to fight and kill his relatives, his grandparent, grandsire, Bhishma Pitamaha. No, it was not an offense to kill his relatives because he's just doing his duty as a Kshatriya and to establish the principles of religion. Now, it'll be difficult for us, isn't it, to fight against our relatives, even our own friend, what to say of our own relative. It is not Krishna conscious in that way, but if it is for Krishna, we should do whatever Krishna would tell us to do. It may be seemingly it is wrong morally, but for Krishna there is nothing wrong. Even his stealing is not the same as our stealing. Stealing the yogurt, stealing the makan chor. No. Stealing the garments of the young gopis. But for us, if we steal even one very, seemingly very no value, but yeah. But nowadays in America, I've seen the shoplifters. They just let them go. They try to stop them. There's a law I've heard in India that in America that if the shoplifter who is stealing, they get hurt, they can sue. They can sue the store owners. Is that true? What kind of law is that? I've seen this video of like a thug. He stole all the Apple cell phones. Keep putting and the workers just standing and watching them. This Kali Yuga. They don't stop them at all because if they get hurt, if you stop them and they get hurt, they will sue you. So is that offensive? It is offensive. But Arjuna, is a big dilemma, big dilemma. So it was not offensive for him to do it, because ultimately in the battlefield, Krishna says, I already have killed them all, not the soul, the body, and it's good for them, because next life they'll have better existence, better life. So we have to carry out what Krishna's instructions to our spiritual master. And in this way, there's no entanglement. There is nothing that can affect the devotee if the devotee follows the instructions coming from the spiritual master via the spiritual master. Actually, whatever the spiritual master says is also coming from Krishna, ultimately, because the spiritual master only repeats what the Supreme Personality of Godhead instructions. So everyone is dear to him in this way. This karma yoga is like this: action in Krishna consciousness. Do your duty, don't be attached to the result, and everything should be done for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. Okay? Is there any other points in this one? Any comments? Any question?
Just wanted to say.
Yes.
Maharaj, thank you for the nice class. You were raising the point where, devotees may be going to some places, forbidden places for preaching purposes.
Yeah.
So, in an immature state,
One has to be careful.
yeah. So, how do you
But you are protected if your main purpose only is to give Krishna to others. You may be distracted also, but that distraction is temporary. You'll be protected. I remember in the Sankirtan days, and still they're doing it. They go to rock concerts. Practically, everyone doesn't wear any clothes. Prabhupada, he went to a nude camp. Prabhupada did not get affected. It's a nude camp, everyone doesn't wear any clothes. And he picked up some of our devotees in the early days. They will not get affected, but about us, if we are focused in our service, then we may be affected that much because our service, our attention is to serve, they will be protected. But if you cannot really, if you think that you'll be affected so much, better not go to those places. We have a godbrother, he goes to concerts the whole summer, distributing books. It takes practice also. But for the most neophyte, that is not advisable. Very difficult. No. That's why you have to have a strong sadhana again. Before we go out, distribute books, we will read the Bhagavad Gita. We will read Srila Prabhupada's books. Yeah. If you go out there without fully equipped, the shield, the kavacha of Prabhupada's, instructions through his books, you will get easily carried away. You'll be distracted, and it'll be almost the end of your trying to become a devotee. That's why spiritual warriors, His Holiness Bhaktitirtha Swami, he named his books Spiritual Warriors. Like our Guru Maharaj is a spiritual warrior. Commander-in-Chief. One of the generals of Srila Prabhupada. There's a name for that. What's the name again? Senapati. He can conquer Akshohinis. Akshohini, many thousands of soldiers, opponents. Yeah. Our Guru Maharaj is like that. Nothing deterred him from going into the battlefield. We should follow in his footsteps. But it cannot be artificial. We have to be strong spiritually. There are many distractions. You just observe what's going on around you very easily. Even in Vrindavan, you can be easily distracted there if you're not protected yourself. That's why Prabhupada says, don't go outside of the four walls of Krishna Balaram Mandir. Stay inside. Don't hear anything outside of the Krishna Balaram Mandir. If you're not satisfied with the lectures here, you go give yourself. You give the lecture. Right now, many of our ISKCON members, God brothers, God cousins, they go here outside Krishna Balaram Mandir, thinking that we're not giving enough Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada gave us everything. So even in Vrindavan, he can be easily distracted. I never go out. Only when we have guests, then we will bring them to different places. I don't even go to Loy Bazaar. When I go to Loy Bazaar, I say, Maharaj, where have you been? I haven't seen you for months. I'm in Vrindavan. I'm in the mandir. So when you're in Vrindavan, don't go to Loy Bazaar every day. I know some devotees, they do. If you want to forget Krishna, go to Loy Bazaar.
Lose your glasses also.
Huh?
Lose your glasses also. No?
Oh, yeah. You don't have to go to Loy Bazaar to lose your eyeglasses. You can go to MDT in front of that store. They're all like sneaking, waiting for their turn to get fruity. Yeah. Oh, they're very obnoxious. And he said, Prabhupada says, in Vrindavan, don't get too close to the Brijabasis also. Don't be familiar with them, because you will never understand them, and then you'll commit aparadh. Some of the Brijabasis, they don't follow Ekadasi. How can we understand this? Prabhupada says, Brijabasis, they don't need spiritual master. Krishna is their spiritual master. So one may say, okay, I'll be in Vrindavan for a long time, then I don't need any guru also. That's not how it goes. You're right. We have to be extra careful. Always. And Prabhupada, he says, that's why this is the problem with his disciples and followers. They're not afraid of Maya. If you're afraid of Maya, then you will not fall into Maya. Yeah? You try to go away from Maya if you're afraid of Maya, right? And don't play with the fire. You'll get burnt. Or don't play with the pigs. You'll get dirty. Yeah. Always be careful. Any other points or comments? Yes, Prabhu.
So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says you should not share this knowledge with someone.
You should not share?
This knowledge with someone who does not have faith.
Yeah. To instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
Right. And we go out and distribute a book.
Yeah.
And someone disrespects it or abuses it.
Mm-mm.
You get karma for that?
You're doing your duty. If they, when we distribute books also, I remember we're distributing books and we meet this, they will pretend that, you know, they want to know about Krishna, about God, but they're like, you know, the fanatics, like born again Christian. They will start blaspheming. So one must be careful. But if we don't risk, then how our movement will go on? Maybe you'll find one of them in, let's say, 1,000. But you don't worry, you're protected because you're just doing your duty. Like Arjuna. Arjuna is doing his duty to fight against his kinsmen. So we are ordered by our spiritual master to preach Bhagavad Gita. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also told us to give Krishna to whomever you meet. So we take our chance, but in that way we are protected. We're doing our duty. And if someone becomes, offensive, start to criticize, we pray for them somehow later on. Like, you know, when devotees, they will go in Harinam in New York. So every day they will pass by certain area. Every day. And someone, you know, will criticize them, you know, like blaspheme them. And then there was a time that devotees, they were not able to pass this way. So the person who is blaspheming, criticizing, says, when the devotees pass by again one day, says, where have you been? I was looking for you. How come you did not come? So indirectly, he's becoming Krishna conscious. Look at Chankazi. Chankazi, right? Yeah, this Hare Krishna, this Hare Ram. Why you chant? Yeah, you have to chant Hare Krishna. And he's chanting Hare Krishna himself. I remember doing Harinam in the Philippines. So we're passing by one area. There was this one girl. She was doing like this. Doesn't want to hear the holy name. You think inside she's not chanting? I don't want to hear this Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. We have to do what we have to do, isn't it? Otherwise, how we're going to spread Krishna consciousness? I was thinking, this girl is very lucky. She's chanting the holy name. So either one chants the holy name in joking or in jest or in hatred, it gets benefited. This is the holy name. It's like the fire. No one is exempt not to be burnt, even the child. Yeah. So we have to go, we have to do it. We have to go on. You look at this Krishna, baby boy Krishna. I met last night, 10-year-old boy. He distributed books to his classmates. He was told not to distribute books. Hey, you're not supposed to, this is our territory. So what he did, no one can stop him, this boy. So he was distributing, Maharaj, I distribute books to my classmates. Really? How much you get? $1. Huh?
He came home and he told his mother, can I give one book free $0 because he can't afford it?
Yeah.
They said, no, get $1.
Yeah, because Prabhupada says, if you give our books free, they will not value it. It's like you have a very sweet mango. Alfonso from Mumbai. And you want to give a person, hey, I have a very sweet mango here. You think he'll take it? No. Nah, you're giving them away because it doesn't have that taste. It's not sweet. But then if you pay even $1, you'll value it someday. Because our books are like time bombs. They'll explode. So don't hesitate to give Krishna to others. One time we were distributing books, and this person, he came to me and smacked me in the face. I can't believe it. So I run after him so that he will not do it again to others. I just told the police. The police didn't do anything. Any other question here or points? We have to do our duty like Arjuna. The message is like we have to follow in the footsteps of Arjuna. We may not be into that degree that he's fighting against his kinsman, but do it without any attachment to the result. Yes?
Can you please share some of your book distribution experiences? Some of us
Already did.
Yes. But something that maybe tips that can.
Well, the main thing is you have to be Krishna conscious. Now they have techniques. You learn it from Vaisheshika Prabhu's book, Our Family Business. Or there is a book that Vijay Prabhu wrote. Vijay Prabhu, our book distribution minister, but now he stepped down. We have a new book distribution minister, Vaisheshika Prabhu. He wrote this book, all these stories of different Sankirtan devotees. Or there's another book that was produced by the BBT, All Glories to the Sankirtan Devotees, or something like that. Yeah. The main thing is that you have to have a very strong sadhana. And purity is the force. Always remember this. When your consciousness is clear and pure, they can see it. Your vibration is so thick. And Prabhupada says, my books, they're being distributed by my disciples because of their enthusiasm. You have to be enthusiastic. Our Guru Maharaj told Prabhupada that our books are not being sold in the shops. What's wrong? Something is wrong in Mumbai. They put our books in the shops, in bookstores, and they're not going very fast. And Prabhupada says, yes, my books are being distributed because of the enthusiasm of my disciples. So we have to be enthusiastic. Prabhupada says, only those who have life, they can preach. They can preach. Yeah. When we distribute, we don't use any trickery. As soon as they touch, let them touch the book. Even if they don't buy the book, their life is already changed. Because this book, not different than Krishna. Yeah, you tell them, hey, see? You read one of the slokas, and then from there you start preaching. And when you sell books, less is more. What is the use of your talking for 2-3 minutes, but they did not take the book? Yeah. Yes.
Did you say if you have life, you can preach?
Yeah.
Said-
Only those, that means enthusiasm again. The materialists also have life, but they are lifeless because they don't have Krishna. A devotee is like an electricity. You touch, then you get electrocuted. So when you meet a devotee who is like Krishna conscious, they're full of enthusiasm, they're full of life. Don't be timid when you distribute books. Eagerness must be there. And expect more no's than yes. That is the secret. Expect more no's than yes in distributing books. Then you'll be able to distribute books. Sometimes you can distribute more, sometimes less. But if you can distribute at least one book, your day is complete. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, he'll be happy to hear that a disciple of his distributed at least one pamphlet. Yeah, we've heard that story, right? So we should be like that as well. Any other points or question?
Maharaj,
Yes.
some people, when you say demigods, they don't like it, Why don't you say just Surya Dev, Chandra Dev, or, sun god, moon god? So.
Yeah, they're gods, but not the supreme
demigods,
God.
I don't know, they feel like so much insulting. And
If you
also
tell
they love
demigods?
Shiva. I mean, when you listen to the lecture, they say demigods, right? Demigods.
Demigods, they're godly. Krishna, Prabhupada says we're also Krishna. All of us, we are all Krishna. Small Krishna. But there is the unlimited Krishna.
Right.
Because we're jivas,
Right.
so we're parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. So we have the same quality. It is not a disrespect when we say demigods. They're godly. Demi means almost there. They have, it's like a pure devotee, he has all the qualities of all the demigods. All the demigods reside in the body of a cow. Yeah, you've heard of this? So the cow is holy because of these demigods.
Sometimes, that Christian people come in front of the house
Oh,
and they try to explain about the Bible.
yeah,
And then we try to say about Krishna.
okay.
They don't give us any books, but, they give paper and a card, come to the church.
Okay, you accept them, no
So-
problem.
We take it and we give them some small books they're interested.
They
yeah,
don't want
We
it.
we talking about they're interesting, but if they will throw it away at the book, if they don't care about our book, we get any offensive,
If they don't, if you give them the book,
right?
If
You
they-
give them the book, they throw
and
away.
they throw
or they
away?
Don't care,
what to do?
Right.
What to do? It is not your offense, it is their offense. Because you're doing your duty.
Yeah, that's what we think.
Yeah, one time Prabhupada was in London and he was given pamphlets by Mayavadi. He accepted it. And then the disciple was surprised why Prabhupada accepted this. He says, yes, it's okay. We can use this when we take prasad. You can use it. Like in India, they put in the newspaper,
Right. Make a pocket.
That's right. Yeah, you buy in the street. I hope we don't buy in the street, but they put food in the newspaper, right? So Prabhupada says, yes, there's a use for this. We use this when we take prasad.
Maybe 1 second they will read it, sometimes they get attracted to what is there.
Yeah. So it is not your fault if they throw it. And if you see that they threw it in the waste basket or waste bin, you pick them up and distribute again. They use the book distributors at the airport. Yeah. They've seen the book, the trash bin. Yeah. So they'll pick them up again and distribute. No problem.
Thank you.
Any other points or questions? Any one of you? Do you all distribute books sometimes? Can I have a raise of hands who's distributing books? Go in Harinam? These children, no? You don't go? Okay, sometimes it's good. Yes?
Sometimes even devotees, they keep programs in their house,
Sometimes devotees keep programs in their house.
They're not able to cook everything, so they go and buy samosas from Patel Brothers.
Hare
and they
Krishna.
keep it as one. They offer it to Krishna,
It is not offerable.
to Prabhupada, and they keep, and all devotees come, whatever is prasad, they are going to eat it.
So we have to teach them that don't do it next time.
It's a very common thing. They'll bring sweets, they will bring samosas.
Maybe sweets, as I said, like milk products is okay. That's fine. But grains, you should not. Because karma is transferable to the grains. Yeah? So if you knew someone, just make an advice. Maybe next time you help them make samosa.
Maharaj, I tell many people, samosas, the oil is all they used. It's actually a health hazard eating
That's
from
right.
any store. So,
Yeah.
but many people say.
That is not high class.
Yes, very.
Not high class. Maybe the guests will not come back again. We want them to come again and again. Yeah. Prabhupada, in the early days, he would just cut apples. That is the prasad. Isn't it? So don't over endeavor in such a way that we compromise. Yeah? Okay, we stop here now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Srila Prabhupada Ki. Hare Sitana Premanande, Hare Hare Krishna. Hey, this is a Bangladeshi Vedanta. Yours?
No, further to it.
Yeah, this is Bangladeshi, just by looking at it from outside.